Hey guys, let's get into my fibroid journey. So I'm actually on the journey right now. Although I have had fibroids for the last 10 years, I've never attempted to treat my fibroids until now. I've actually had them more than 10 years because I've had them before Izzy was born and she just turned 10. So I will get into why, after 10 years, I'm finally deciding to treat them. I had several appointments today. I'm just getting home from my last appointment. I had to have an iron infusion, which I have periodically to manage my iron because of my blood loss for my fibroids. I had to have lab work done. I do have a scheduled myomectomy, robotic myomectomy, and I also have a scheduled uterine fibroid embolization. So I had to have the lab work for the myomectomy, and then I had to meet with my OBGYN to clear me for the uterine fibroid embolization procedure. So I had all those appointments today. Let's get into my story, I should say. We'll start off with my story, but I'm going to bring you guys along on this actual journey. I have been trying to get the ball rolling on this since March, and it's now August, almost September. It's very hard to get these appointments with these surgeons, even for a consultation. I had my consultation in July, I think it was July 5th, the day after, July 5th, I had a consultation with the surgeon to do my robotic myomectomy, and her first appointment was September 3rd. So it took that long I had to wait I had to wait 3 weeks or 3 weeks to even have an appointment with her. And then from there, I had to wait over a month to actually have the procedure. So it is quite a process, but let me share with you guys the backstory. I had fibroids for over 10 years. I had fibroids since before Izzy was born. When I first found out I had fibroids, it was because I was having pain, and that's when my doctor realized I had the fibroids. When I got pregnant with Izzy, she shifted the fibroids around in my uterus when she was there in my stomach, and I didn't have the pain anymore. So post-pregnancy, post-giving birth to Izzy, I did not have any pain associated with my fibroids. And that's the main reason why I have not done any sort of surgery, non-invasive procedure to treat the fibroids. What I have had, though, is heavy periods. And over the years, those periods have been getting gradually worse. Every time I go to my OBGYN and I say I have any sort of pain, anything going on with my pelvis, they automatically say, oh, it's because you have fibroids. I say, oh, my periods are so heavy, they're getting worse. Oh, it's because you have fibroids. It's almost a little bit weird because if there was something else going on, they would not even look or check or think about it, because the moment they know you have fibroids, that's the end of the conversation, which I don't think is right, but that's what's been happening. So that's that. Now I am deciding to try to have my fibroids treated because the bleeding is just so bad. Like, I can't even go out for a day on my period because I'll probably bleed through my clothes. If I'm not going to the bathroom every hour on every day of my period to make sure that I'm okay, then if I skip 1 hour, there's a high chance that my clothes will be having blood on them. So that's not ideal, and I can't live like that. So now I'm finally trying to get my fibroids treated. And this process has been quite interesting because now I'm having different conversations with not my OBGYN. Now I have to actually meet with specialists and surgeons and people who treat the fibroids. And these conversations have been very eye-opening to me because over the years, once you find out you have fibroids, your doctor will just recommend that you get ultrasounds. So they will recommend that you get ultrasounds. They will recommend you get ultrasounds every year to monitor the size of the fibroids. And the thing about ultrasounds that I only just realized was they cannot tell what's going on in your uterus with those ultrasounds. So I decided to finally consult with a surgeon. I was like, I got to get these fibroids taken care of. I finally decided to consult with a surgeon. That surgeon ordered an internal and external ultrasound so that he could have my latest imaging. Those two ultrasounds showed that I had 3 fibroids. So I had 3 fibroids before Izzy was born, and I was told that I had 3 fibroids right up until 10 plus years later that I met with this surgeon. I thought that's all I had. I had no reason to question that. This is the imaging they ordered, and this is what I believe was the situation. Then I decided to also have a consultation with the radiologist regarding the uterine fibroid embolization. They would not even schedule an appointment with me until they saw a pelvic MRI of my uterus. So that pelvic MRI, guys, I was so shocked when I saw that imaging. My entire uterus had fibroids on every single inch. Not only that, my uterus was 14 centimeters, and I believe they said the normal size of a uterus is either 6 or 9 centimeters. I think it was 6 because I felt like it was more than double the size of a normal uterus. When I saw that MRI imaging, I was just so shocked because for over 10 years, I've been told that I only had 3 fibroids, and it looked like I had like 20, like we were counting them on the screen. She said, you see all those black dots? Those are fibroids. And I was just like, why has no one else ever ordered an MRI on my pelvis? This whole 10 plus years, I'm getting all of these doctors telling me that I had 3 fibroids. Even the surgeon who was going to perform a myomectomy on me did not order an MRI. So that surgeon would not have had any idea that I had 20 fibroids until he started the procedure, which I don't think is accurate. A radiologist performing uterine fibroid embolization that's a non-invasive procedure, but he was ordering more things than the actual surgeons, which was questionable to me. But let me backtrack to all of my appointments with my OBGYN. For the last 10 years, all they've been telling me is that my options to treat these fibroids was a hysterectomy or a myomectomy. That's it. No one mentioned uterine fibroid embolization. The only reason I know about that procedure is because I know my aunt had that procedure, and I knew she didn't have a surgery. And I asked her, what was that procedure that you had? And she told me, none of my doctors, no one in any medical hospital, clinic, office, no one ever said you can have uterine fibroid embolization. Because I probably would have had that 10 years ago, or at least 5 years ago, when I knew that I had fibroids. Not only that, no one mentioned the process of laparoscopic or any of these specialized techniques that they have now to remove fibroids without cutting you open, because I don't want to get cut open. So when I'm talking to these doctors, they're always giving me options that include cutting me open. And I'm like, I think, in 2024, we have better options. I can Google search and find options. So I don't know why these were the only options given to me. And I met with 2 different surgeons recently. My first surgeon told me, your fibroids are too big. I cannot perform a robotic surgery on you. We have to cut you open. And I just met with him today for to give me the approval for the uterine fibroid embolization. And he told me, if that doesn't work for you, I can give you a hysterectomy. So again, he's immediately going to taking out my whole uterus. He's not saying anything about laparoscopic, any other minimally invasive procedures that don't include cutting me open or taking my uterus out. So obviously I'm not having my surgery through him. I went to a doctor in New York City at Weill Cornell. They have a fibroid center. I went to a doctor there, and I told her I do not want to get cut open. She told me, she was the one who had access to my MRI imaging, and she told me, she said, if you don't want to get cut open, I'll take as many fibroids as I can. I'll get some through the incisions for the robotic surgery. I'll get some through a vaginal procedure to remove those fibroids, and whatever is left, you can have the uterine fibroid embolization to remove to kill off, I should say, the rest of the fibroids. So she wasn't like, oh, we got to get all of them. I'm going to try. The only way I can get them all is to cut you open. Once I told her I didn't want to get cut open, she said, okay, we'll get some this way, we'll get some that way, and then the rest will cut off the blood supply through the uterine fibroid embolization. She said I could get the embolization before my surgery or after. She told me all the options, and she kept in mind that I didn't want to get cut open. I like that about her because I saw many other people before her. I did not even know that there was a way to remove the fibroids vaginally. Whatever that procedure is, no one else had ever mentioned that to me throughout my whole 10 years of trying to manage these fibroids. So I probably would have also done that one sooner. And she told me that for the fibroids that are causing my heavy bleeding, she has to remove them through the vagina. So I could have had lighter periods for the last 5 or 6 years had any of the other OBGYN doctors that I had been going to ever mentioned to me that there was a procedure that they could have removed those fibroids. And then also recommended the UFE procedure. So this is where I am today, and this is only because I'm being very firm and I'm trying to do research because I do not want to get cut open. I was cut open before, and that process of healing is just so much, trying to make sure that you don't get infected, trying to clean. Like, it's a very hard thing to recover from, and I don't want to do that because I've already experienced it. So I'm trying to avoid that, but I also want to treat this fibroids, especially the heavy bleeding. So for now, I have these 2 procedures. Now, I do have the robotic myomectomy scheduled, and that's because I have one huge fibroid. It's actually interesting because that fibroid outgrew its blood supply, so it's actually dying off on its own right now through the process known as degeneration. So that's the only one I'm worried about removing through the myomectomy. But since now we know that the reason that I'm having these heavy periods is because of some fibroids where they call submucal that are in the lining, submucal. Those fibroids are the ones that the surgeon told me were causing my heavy bleeding. And she can remove those through a vaginal procedure. Because of that, I think that I want to maybe discuss with her only having that procedure, not getting cut at all, even through the robotic surgery, and then having the uterine fibroid embolization to just cut off the blood supply and go through the degeneration process naturally. Because I really hate to have to get cut open, and with any surgery they let you know there is still a chance they might have to cut you open. I don't want to get cut open at all, so that's what I'm trying to avoid. But guys, this has been quite the process. I've been all over the place, going to so many doctors, going to so many appointments, and now I finally have a treatment plan in place, and I will have my first procedure in 2 weeks, and I'll have my second procedure in 3 weeks. You guys can follow along on this journey with me. I am going to post a video later with my MRI so you guys can see how crazy it looks, my pelvis with all those fibroids. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments section. I might have missed something, but I was just trying to give you guys an overview because this is like an ongoing fibroid journey. I haven't had my procedures yet. I haven't gone through the recovery yet. And that's all stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you as it's happening. So this is where we are today. I went to have all of my pre-procedural appointments. So now I'm 100% ready to move forward with all the appointments that I have set for the next 2 and 3 weeks. You guys can follow along with me on that. I will keep you guys posted. If this video was helpful, be sure to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and comment with any questions. Bye, guys.